patience, and sorry again that we're a couple minutes late. Like I said, we did have some technical difficulties, but let's go ahead and get started. So good morning, and thank you for attending today's monthly UK demonstration. It is 11 a.m. in London as well as Dublin, which is actually where I'm making this call from. Today is Thursday, February 25th. So let's kick things off with a question, and that is, why are we talking today? Ultimately, as the saying goes, brand or be branded. So in a nutshell, there's no other place on the internet that shows both the employer and employee perspective on why yours is an employer of choice. I'm of the belief that the best employer brand is going to be a combination of a couple things. The employer value proposition, the employee value proposition, add to that your corporate and commercial brand reputation, and I think that's going to be what ultimately encapsulates a new company's accurate employer brand. So before we talk about Glassdoor, let's just talk through a couple technical tips and webinar housekeeping for all the attendees out there. So a few things before we start. You can connect to audio using your computer's microphone and speakers. Alternatively, you can also select the use telephone option after joining the webinar. All lines with the exception of mine will be muted, and that's just to avoid any background noise. That being said, if you do have any questions, you can and should share them by, if you look on the right-hand side of the page, you just see a question pane. So go ahead and type anything you have throughout the webinar in there, and I'll go ahead and address it at the end. Finally, I can also confirm that a recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel should you want to share it with your colleagues or your peers. So your featured speaker today is me. My name is Lauren Hine, and I lead the newly established Dublin sales development team here at Glassdoor. As you can see, here's my picture, just so you can put a face to the name. To give you a little bit of background, I've been at Glassdoor just over a year now, and I started out as a sales development rep, and I've quickly grown into lead our team that just launched here in Dublin on the 1st, as well as you can see today, helping out our marketing team in spreading the word about Glassdoor. And just a little bit of insight about Glassdoor and our incredible rate of growth. This was fueled by the Google-led $70 million round of funding that we took start at the beginning of last year. And so some of you would have seen the news launch also. As I mentioned, we did launch in Ireland, and that was the first of this month, and this also follows the launches in Germany, France, and the Netherlands that have all taken place in the past 12 months. Very exciting times here. And for all you social butterflies out there, we want to encourage you to join the conversation online using our hashtag. And so that's hashtag GDChat, or you can feel free to tweet us, and it's at Glassdoor UK. So please go ahead and join in on the conversation. I want to quickly address today's agenda and what I have in mind for the webinar. First, what we want to do is speak to you about these candidates and what the decision-making process looks like. Then we're going to speak a little bit about your employer brand. I'll go ahead and also show you some of what you can do immediately on Glassdoor, some just quick wins for you and your company. And then we will do a quick live site demo and just give you a little bit of a demonstration to see what these Glassdoor solutions look like. And then finally, like I said, I do want to reserve the last few minutes for any questions that you have. Great. So let's get started with today's candidates' decision-making process. So candidates today typically start their search on Google or some sort of other known search engine. And as you can see from the slide, I have a couple of screenshots of some typical searches that lead candidates to find Glassdoor and are ultimately going to lead candidates to your employer profile. So why do candidates visit Glassdoor? And the answer is very simple, is that the way candidates make decisions has fundamentally changed from how it was in the past. So Previously, the only insight candidates could really get was either going to be from your corporate careers page, recruiters, or the hiring managers themselves. And today, information and insight is a lot more accessible, and that's going to be from the peer reviews and all the social media networks that we have access to now. This really is going to be no different than when you're booking a hotel and you use TripAdvisor or buying a TV on Amazon. Reviews and ratings are what today's consumers use to make their decisions. So for job seekers, this is going to be no exception. They're able to research what it's actually like to work for an employer before they apply for a job. Consumers not only want to know, but really ideally deserve to know what it's going to be like to work for a company before they even step foot into that interview process. With that in mind, an employer brand today is therefore a combination of, as I mentioned earlier, the employer's perspective, the perspective of the peers who are researching companies every day on places like Glassdoor. So let's talk a little bit about the candidate's journey on Glassdoor. As you can see, this nice little funnel imagery up top. So this is going to be the decision-making process, and we'll highlight at every step of the way where Glassdoor is able to influence these candidates. So as you can see at the top of the funnel, it's going to be awareness, and this is going to be where the majority of employers invest in channels like, if you think about kind of some of the big ones out there are going to be like LinkedIn, Indeed, TJ, or staffing firms. Glassdoor also provides job advertising, and this is going to be to increase candidate flow in this awareness area that we're talking about. So then once a candidate is made aware of a job, the next question they ask is, okay, I have the skill set to fulfill this job, but do I actually want to work at this company? And so this is going to be where Glassdoor's unique business value starts for the employer. Glassdoor is the only platform that gives you an opportunity to influence the candidate at every step as they consider you as their potential next employer of choice. So the way that we're able to do this is through infusing all employer reviews, interviews, salaries, benefits, and ratings with the employer's brand so that the candidate can make a smart career move. So, for example, a candidate can prepare for an interview by reading interview reviews from previous candidates. They can also, let's say, what they made it through that interview process and how to get an offer, they can review their offer and compare salary and benefit information to make sure that what the company has offered them is, the right choice for them and really aligns with what their expectations are as they enter into a potentially new job. So every day we're making better and more informed decisions based on reviews, because often in the past our expectations may not have matched the reality of what we went into. So as consumers, we're all going to turn to sites like these. So like I said, Amazon, Yelp, OpenTable, TripAdvisor, and this is just a way for us to make more informed decisions about product purchases, where to eat, or where we want to take our next trip or holiday. So really in all aspects of your life, we're constantly kind of relying on that feedback to make our decisions. As I said, finding a job is going to be no different than these. Glassdoor really exists to help people everywhere find jobs and companies that they love. So now that we live in this world of transparency, the way a job seeker evaluates a job and potential employer is going to be forever changed. It has, and it will continue to be changed in that job seekers are really wanting that transparency aspect. So to give you a little bit of background about how this all came about with Glassdoor, we launched in 2008 and have grown at a pretty incredible rate since. Today I'm sitting here actually in our third office outside the US, and more often than not I have conversations about Glassdoor. I hear that analogy of like, oh, Glassdoor is being TripAdvisor for employers. And now, actually, it's kind of interesting, is the TripAdvisor CEO sits on our board, and one of our co-founders sits on the board of TripAdvisor. So I guess that analogy is very accurate and very much real. So we all know that where you work is going to be one of the most important decisions you'll make in your life. And your candidates feel the exact same way. And there are going to be many factors that play into why someone somewhere ends up being a best place to work and why we'd end up wanting to apply to that job. So people are going to Glassdoor to get the inside scoop on what it's like to work at companies like yours. And not only can someone review their own company and search what it's like to work at others, they can also determine if they're a good fit for that company. And really this ultimately ends up being a win for not only that job seeker, but for the employers as well, because candidates are able to vetting themselves and deciding if they fit the company before they apply. So this in turn allows employers to be better informed and overall just higher quality candidates. Also, there is a huge kind of misconception that Glassdoor is a rant website or a place where employers air their dirty laundry. And really, you can see some stats on this slide. The reality is about 70% of employees that leave reviews on Glassdoor say that they're either okay or satisfied with their job and the company they work for. So these employees come to Glassdoor to research company culture, salaries, benefits, interview questions, business outlook, and then the CEO rating. So today, the fastest growing area on Glassdoor of content is in the job section. So in how employers to reach job seekers at a pivotal point in the job seeking process. So Glassdoor is serving up targeted ads to job seekers based on their research behavior, which makes these ads highly effective compared to a standard job board. So we really are kind of trying to get smarter about the way that we're reaching consumers and job seekers when they're on the job hunt. So candidate behavior today, a few stats here for you. So 83% of recruiters decide today's talent market as candidate-driven. Candidates are weary of employer messages. And then employees are 3 times more credible than the CEO when talking about work conditions. And then lastly, 75% turn to peers before making their own decisions about a brand. So you can see the source of these stats and can go ahead and search the finer details of these reports online if you want to delve a little deeper into that. I'll go ahead and pause and answer a very timely question on this slide. And the question is, how is Glassdoor different to LinkedIn? And what I kind of already talked about, and I'll say it again, one of our key differentiators is our user-generated content. So we have 11 million pieces of content from 190 countries, representing about 500,000 companies. So in addition to that, 4 in 5 Glassdoor users are actually looking for dogs, or even as they're browsing, are potentially open to new opportunities. So what does that say? That Glassdoor is not only attractive, active, but passive job seekers. So what is an employer brand? Here's another good question. And I'll go ahead and borrow a quote from the founder and CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. And Jeff says that your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. So the room that we're all in today is very much the internet and social media. So for the purpose of today's conversation, we'll go ahead and say that that room is Glassdoor. So essentially, if you're not going online and sharing your story, somebody else is going to. So for you guys on the line right now, these are a couple things for you to think about and for you to ask yourselves. And first, it's, would your current employees recommend your company to a friend? What are employees and job seekers alike saying about you on social media? And also, what is your company rating on Glassdoor? This Allegiance Group study out of the US showed that 69% of workers surveyed would not take a job at the company that had a bad reputation, even if they didn't have a job. So even if they were unemployed, they wouldn't take the job. Another stat for you is that a staggering 84% will consider leaving their current jobs if offered another role with a company that had an excellent corporate reputation. And so based on both of these stats, the reality is job applicants have access to more information about potential employers more now than they ever have before. Candidates can now weigh their options, comparing benefits and salary, and decide which company and which opportunity is going to be right for them. It's just as much about the candidate interviewing you nowadays as you are to them. So now, if top talent comes in for an interview at your company, you can think about why this company is the best fit for them. Maybe do research on Glassdoor on the company they came from, and let them know how your company is better in those areas, and kind of give them a little bit more value around that to potentially influence them during that interview process. I know that I'm really preaching to the converted with this slide, but just in case you are unaware, a strong employer brand ultimately leads to obviously higher brand awareness. It's going to be higher retention with current employees. More job offers are going to be accepted. Overall revenue goes up. You're going to be receiving more quality applicants, ultimately spending lower cost per hire. And then, if you have a good employer brand, you're going to have a higher number of referrals coming into your company. So why do you think it's important to invest in your employer brand? Well, according to a 2014 CEB report, employers that invested in employer branding reported a 54% increase in the quality of their talent pool. So the first thing a candidate does before they apply to a company is research what it's like to work there. I know when I did this for different companies I worked for, and especially right after I exited college and wasn't really sure what I wanted my next step to be, going to research you online to see what it's like to work there is going to be really important for someone who's really in that transition period. I recommend for all of you today to do some Google searches and put yourself in the candidate's shoes. So see what comes up and see how candidates are actually consuming the information that's out there on your company. So once you do that, once you see where those searches lead, then a really question for you to think about and you to ponder is, are you attracting the type of people that you want to come work for you? So at this point, you're probably wondering what Glassdoor does exactly. And ultimately, we're helping companies communicate their EVP, employer brand, and essentially helping them hire better quality and more informed candidates. We're partners with companies of all sizes, and it's going to be across a wide variety of industries, as you can see illustrated here, VMware, AutoTrader, Huddle, and we've all really helped them in different ways with brand awareness and their hiring process. While we love that we have these key clients, what's more important is what we've ultimately learned from them. You can see that on the slide. All right, now a quick overview of Glassdoor solutions. So the first, and I'm going to jump into the demo after this and I'll show you a little bit what this looks like, is going to be our enhanced profile. This is really the area of Glassdoor where you're able to share your side of the story. So give that 360 view of what it's going to be like to work for your company. You gain full real estate of the existing Glassdoor page where you get to eliminate competitor jobs and also have a live feed of your open positions. Then we also offer display advertising, and this is really going to increase your brand awareness, and it's going to attract and influence candidates who are researching your company, also who are researching your competitors. We were going to bring them from your competitors' page and want to attract them to your page. Also, last thing is diversity and inclusion campaigns. I think about some companies that I talk to are really looking to hire, say, software engineers, female software engineers. So what we're able to do is really help target that audience who maybe aren't thinking about you, maybe don't know about your company, and bring them to your Glassdoor page, show them your open positions. Going off of that, showing them your open positions, we do job advertising as well. So it really helps you source quality applicants, target specific demographics, like I mentioned with the female software engineers, and we're going to be able to do this across channels and devices. We sync up with your ATS, and we're also mobile friendly. So I know all of you probably have smartphones of some sort. Hopefully you're not on them right now while I'm talking, but this is a really great way to really reach candidates across channels and really just be front of mind to them when they're researching jobs on Glassdoor or jobs in general. Lastly, this is also really great for you to leverage is analytics. So this allows you to track brand awareness and do more in-depth analysis on employee sentiment. You're able to benchmark yourself against your competitors, and this is just a really good way for you as a company to see where you're doing really well, where you're strong, where you're not so strong, and obviously this is a place to see, are there some room for improvement. So let's go ahead and jump to our live to site demo. And I've already tabbed some pages here. Let me pull them up. Great. So we're going to start where most candidates searches start. Hopefully this page looks familiar to you if you've been to Glassdoor before. As you can see, the site is very intuitive. Jobs, companies, salaries, interviews, it's all kind of just right out there for you to see. And I first want to draw your attention to some of the solutions I mentioned earlier. And what you see right now behind the little engine on the backdrop is called a homepage highlight. And this is for Kundal. And what they're essentially doing is highlighting one of their reviews, so you can see that in the bottom left corner. This is a powerful solution to drive awareness to the unlimited slots that we have available on .co.uk. And Kundal, what they're doing right now is we do this for a minimum of 3 months, so really just adhering to their needs and putting their brand out there on that first front page of Glassdoor where job seekers are starting their search. So once again, the #1 reason people are coming to .co.uk is to research companies. So I want to give you a little bit of a look into some profiles. So I'm going to enter a company. So I'll go to the companies tab, and I'm going to enter SDL. So let's go. So on the right, you can see job posts. And all these posts on the right-hand side, these are all companies that Glassdoor is partnered with. And you can see right now open positions that are targeting me. These all make a lot of sense. I'm in sales development. I'm being targeted with sales development jobs. And so these are sponsored jobs through Glassdoor. And this is just one of the ways that we get your jobs in front of the audience that you're looking for based on their behavior and based on the type of positions that they're searching for. So I want to go ahead and jump to one of our partner pages, Arm Holding. You will notice that this profile is going to look, just go to the top, very different than the typical ones. This is what we call an enhanced profile. Before I dive into that enhanced profile, I want to draw your attention to this free resource. So whether you're a partner or not, there are a couple things that you can do with just that free employer account. So first things first, what you need to do is create a login information so that you can access for free. This will show under the employer section where you can click get access to free accounts. If you need assistance with this, our lovely marketing team can send you information on how to access your free employer account, but I recommend you all today make this priority number one after today's webinar. If you take one thing away from this and one thing only, it's going to be making that top priority is take control of this free profile. It's going to get you involved in this conversation that's happening on Glassdoor, and ultimately going to provide you some valuable insight into the employer brand that's already being portrayed on Glassdoor. So let's go ahead and take a peek into ARM Holdings Employer Center. They have kindly allowed us to do this, so we really appreciate this. As you can actually see, they just won for one of the companies for best places to work. You can actually see right here, they're highlighting it. Very exciting. So they also achieved, you'll see right here, Open Company, and that basically means that they've taken extra steps to embrace transparency. They're responding to reviews, and they're highlighting their profile on their actual careers page, which you can do for free. I'll come back to Open Company, but that is a great way to get started and with this free employer account. So let's dive into your points. Employer Center, this is where I am right now on the dashboard. This is going to be your one-stop shop to take control of your employer brand and get access for free. Like I mentioned, you have access to this center with that free employer account. So claim that profile. Number one thing, claim your profile. So once you have access, log in, summary your reviews, and really get a pulse of what's happening on the profile. So that's going to be page traffic, company rating, CEO rating, followers, etc. Now, I want to be completely transparent. I can tell you that ARM Holding and our other paid partners have access to this information, but also to a whole wealth of deeper analytics, features, and data. And today's webinar, I'm not going to go into that, but just to give you an idea, some of that data includes, it's going to be a breakdown of reviews, of ratings, employer sentiment, location, job title, current versus previous employers, and then also taking this data and we can stack rank it against competitors. And this is going to be incredible, useful paid insight for you to use moving forward in any sort of recruiting and branding initiative or strategies that's taking place currently or future with your company. So I'll jump back for today's focus. It's going to be on what you can access for free. So we're going to start with the company details. So click into employer branding and click into company details. So here you can add the company mission, you can change the CEO, and you can also list any competitors. So, but this is where you go ahead and do that. It's really important that this is accurate information here. Next, you can add your company logo. So that's just right here. Want to have the appropriate logo on there that is matches up with your website. Unfortunately, you can't do partners only. We'll go down to benefits. You can and kind of highlight those based on location or more insight. Also, we'll go down to awards. So you can add any award that your company has received, and those will be on your page. And photos. Also, there's two sections here. So employer photos, those are ones that you guys are adding to reflect what you believe to be, of your company culture, and then also community photos. That means that previous, current employees can go on and add photos as well. These are two quick wins for you and your company that you can do immediately. So really just showing that doing these simple things through the employer account is really just showing that your company really embraces transparency and that ultimately you're really looking for that right fit when it comes to bringing on a new employee. Link up some social media, or excuse me, not link to social media. You can add company updates, much like social media like Facebook, Twitter, and it's like a little bit of a live feed. So then lastly, I mentioned this earlier, open company. Start working toward open company status. And you do this by, you update the company profile, add photos, you can get some reviews, you can request reviews through your employees and launch what we call like an employee engagement campaign of sorts. It's a really fancy way of saying, send out an email to your current employees, tell them to log on to Glassdoor and share their experiences. And this is really a way for you to start accumulating those reviews and ultimately getting a current, accurate perception of what it's going to be like to work at your company. Also adding employee value proposition. Lastly, you can respond to reviews through the website, respond to reviews on Glassdoor. And last thing is promote your profile and put your badge on your career page, and it's going to link back to Glassdoor. So on your company careers page, put the badge. It's going to link back to bring the job seeker to Glassdoor. So let's go back to the dashboard. You do have access to some analytics with the free employer account, and as you can see here, it's going to be traffic. So that's a really great way just to gain insight into who's coming to your profile month over month. And then if you click into the traffic, like so, you can even pop up some competitors and see how you stack up next to them over time. So if you can see company 1 to company 2, you can go ahead and put your top competitors in there and see how you're doing against them. So as you can see, ARM holding this profile, since they joined Glassdoor, their page traffic has increased immensely over the past 2 months. So it's pretty incredible to see what they've done in such a short amount of time. And then also you do have some insight into who these people are. So I'm going to click into candidate demographic, and you can see their education, years of experience, gender breakdown, age, and then scroll down. You're also able to see, update this. You're also able to see the top titles that they're searching for. Oh, here we go. Okay, it took a second. Okay, so you can also see top jobs they're researching on your site, in what location, and then top companies that they're either going to before or after they leave your page. And you can see that all right here for you to look at. Just for some perspective, I'll show you what most of your profiles look like, and then we'll hop back to ARM holding to just see aesthetically kind of some big differences. So I'm going to pull up Sky. We'll start at the top. So as you can see, they have an incomplete profile. Okay, first I'll start off, you see this red dot in the corner. That means no one within the company has claimed this profile, so no one's really accessing some of the free things on this account. And also you can see that other people are targeting them. So if we go down, let's see. So Salesforce is targeting me, hiring for engineers in Europe. So they probably know that I'm in Dublin and know that I'm a female, maybe software engineers or something, why they're hiring me. You can also see that Mind Candy right here is targeting me and putting their jobs in front of me, even though I'm looking at Sky's page. So they really don't have, Sky does not have really maybe their own unique advertising on here. And as you can see, like, I'm being targeted for jobs based on my behavior. And once again, these people who are targeting me are partners of Glassdoor. So it looks like Sky has the idea of what you can do with the free employer account. So I really like this. It's people doing fun things, and really it's telling your story and communicating your employer value proposition. And I think a lot of people like that, especially it's something in regards to, in the CSR perspective, really just giving them visibility into what companies like on a day-to-day, not just like this kind of canned marketing photos. Like, you can tell these are legit photos from employees themselves. So if you scroll down, this is all really heavily employee perspective. First off, and looking at how they're rated over time with work-life balance, as you scroll down further, you can see, once again, that not only Mind Candy, but let's see, Betfair and other companies are targeting Sky's profile and are putting their branded opportunities in front of people researching Sky. And this is happening because our partners, these companies, have chosen Sky because they believe that they want to attract the same kind of candidates who's visiting Sky's profile, so they're going to go ahead and target them. So you can see they have added some updates right down here, company updates. So some perspective for the employer. So let's go ahead and we're going to hop back to ARM Holding. And just you can see there's a huge difference right off the bat. Right here they have the cover photo highlighting that they were chosen best places to work. They also put a display image right there in that photo to talk about what it's like to work there. And this is going to be that first impression that job seekers are seeing when they come to our Holdings page. It's not going to be reviews. It's not going to be previous or current employees' perspective. It's straight from the employer's mouth what it's like to work there. They have, let's see, 325 jobs and they've locked these down their profile. So this feed is coming directly from the ATS. And so as long as the company, ARM Holding, or any of our other paid partners keep your ATS current and up to date, Glassdoor is going to follow suit and keep that feed up to date on the Glassdoor page as well. So as you can see, it's also they're targeting me on their jobs that they think are going to be the most relevant to me. So yes, they have 325 jobs, but here on this right-hand side, what they're wanting to do is just showcase a small portion of those that they may feel like it's going to be most relevant to me and what I'm looking for. So then as we keep going down, still nothing from the employee yet. They have a why work for us section. And this here is going to be highlighting why it's great to work. They also targeting students, so they have a students tab, and they're really able to talk to this audience there. And all these tabs, by the way, are fully customizable depending on the employer focus. So right here, it's going to be students, early careers, and they're also, wanting to share their impact. So keep going down, but so far, really all focused on Holding, all from the employer's perspective. Going down, down, down. All right. Now, it's not until you get really to the bottom of the page that you get to see, start seeing the reviews. And so feature review, that's right there at the top. What you get to do is you get to choose that top review to be showcased on your page. And as a publicly traded company, they're also, you can see sharing financial information as well as pictures of locations to give you an idea of the folks that are working there and kind of what they're doing in office and outside. It looks like, let's see, photos. Oh, here we go. So from ARM Holdings photos, they're kind of giving you that inside look of inside and outside the office, maybe folks doing charity walk, for example. And, as a job seeker, if I want to be part of an organization that does its part in giving back, something like this is going to be really important when I'm looking for my next job. So go ahead and head back up to the top. I know that's a pretty quick overview of the enhanced profile, but want to be respectful of your time here, and I also saved 2 minutes for questions. So just to reiterate, the most important takeaway from this is going to be to claim your free employer account and get involved in the conversation. So ultimately, this is really how you're going to start your brand on Glassdoor. So I'm going to go ahead and hop back to the webinar. And sorry, folks, I know I'm running a little bit over here, so I'll be quick. Claim your free employer account. Do that today. That's the most important thing. You should see a screen like so, enter your information and follow up and get that access. We've got plenty of additional free resources available once you log into your account, as I just walked through. You'll find everything from webinars on demand to free ebooks and any sort of guide about recruiting, branding that you would be interested in. We're really trying to create a portal that employers can use as a place for thought leadership. So I also encourage you to go there and check it out. So once you claim your free employer account, go ahead and Manage your company information. Make sure that's accurate and up-to-date, reflection of how you present yourself across social media channels. Next, respond to reviews, get in there, read what people are saying, and take some time to respond. Next, understand the demographic of your candidates. Who's coming to your page? What kind of candidates are you attracting to your Glassdoor page? Lastly, benchmark awareness against competitors. See what companies you're emulating, see who you want to be like, or who you just view as someone who is competitive in your field. See how you're doing against them, see what that looks like. It can offer some really great perspective for you. I know I've said it a couple times. Unlock that free employer account. That's how you get access to all of this. All right, in conclusion, just want to recap. Glassdoor helps you brand, influence, and hire. What we want to do is help you amplify and communicate your employer brand, your EVP, and ultimately hire and influence quality candidates. So for the purpose of today's webinar, we spoke specifically about the enhanced profile job solutions to help you overcome your challenges and accomplish your goals. Next steps, again, claim your free employer account so you can access some of the data I highlighted today. And then please contact us should you require more detailed, more in-depth demonstration. Happy to do that and happy to introduce you to the appropriate people. You can expect an email from us within 24 hours. I can also, once again, confirm that the recording of this, there will be on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. And then if you have any pressing questions, now's a really good opportunity to ask them. We'll stay online for a few minutes to address any questions you might have. And then for those of you who are leaving the call, I know I ran a little bit over, thank you so much for joining and enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, really quickly, email me. This is my email above, lauren.hein, H-E-Y-I-N-G, @glassdoor.com. Please feel free to reach out to me after today's webinar. And then we're going to go ahead and mute for a second and get some of these questions. So thanks so much. And actually, I believe one of our marketing gals, Shay, is on the line and is also going to help me in that.
Yes. Thanks so much for joining us today, everybody. There's a ton of questions regarding if the materials from today will be sent out so you can share them with your colleagues. Absolutely. We will send a recording, like Lauren said, within 24 hours. Again, we apologize a little bit about those technical difficulties. But yes, we'll share all the materials with you. So there are a couple questions here. Lauren, the first one is regarding if you have a couple negative reviews on your Glassdoor profile, do you recommend responding to those reviews? Should you only respond to negative, or should you also respond to positive?
That's a great question. I think it's really important to respond to both negative and positive reviews alike. So if you are going to go ahead and take that route, we do recommend, we don't want it to look one-sided where you're just responding to the positive and not the negative, or vice versa. So I think it's really important to sit with, senior leadership and talk a little bit about the reviews and come up with some thoughtful responses of ways in which to respond. The way in which it works, it's not like a feed where you can go back and forth. It's really just you get to respond and that's it. So we really encourage employers to take the high road and be thoughtful in their responses and really go ahead and respond to both positive and negative. Also, but I'm going to plug, we have a webinar focused on responding to reviews. So if that's something that you're really wanting to get more information around, happy to pass that information off to you afterwards.
Great. And then there's another question regarding if Glassdoor syncs with or integrates with most ATSs.
Yeah, so Glassdoor partners with all major ATSs. And if you're worried because you're a smaller company and you don't have an ATS, what Glassdoor can do is go ahead and sync up your jobs on Glassdoor to your career page. And also, like I said, we are mobile. So we do have options for small companies who don't have an ATS set up yet, and then also larger companies who do. And like I said, we are partnered with pretty much all major ATSs.
Awesome. And then somebody else wanted to know, if they do go out and claim their free employer account, what's the best step to kind of getting started with that? And would you recommend, updating the information or first reaching out to your employees for more reviews? What would you recommend doing first?
Great question. And first things first, get your information correct on your page. We want to make sure that what's reflected on your actual company site is going to match up with what's on Glassdoor. So first things first, before you send out getting employees involved, make sure that information is accurate. So that's the first thing I would do once you claim the account, is make sure all that information on there is up to date.
Okay, and then I think last question before we'll let everybody hop off is, does Glassdoor allow companies to have more of a global presence, or would they just have one profile based out of the US or UK?
Okay, that's a great question, and it is exciting because Glassdoor is really expanding and it's gaining more of an international presence. So it really depends on the employer and what you're looking for. We do kind of international profiles, and what we can do is there is kind of a way to section it off to show reviews and employee reviews by location. So it really depends on your specific need, but yes, we can cater to various locations. We have what we call localized profiles. So you can have like your main profile, maybe that if it's like UK based or US based, and then we can also have localized enhanced profiles for the various other international locations. And I hope that makes sense in the language that I presented it, and happy to send you afterwards to give you a little bit more information around Glassdoor and international profiles.
Awesome. Okay, I think with that, we will end our webinar today. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thanks for joining a last-minute new link that we've sent you. But again, like I said, we will follow up with all the materials within 24 hours. So we hope to see you on another Glassdoor webinar coming up. But enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks so much for that great info, Lauren.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good one.